We are back. I had to hit you guys with a voiceover because I couldn't find my microphones when I was doing this video. I wanted to talk through everything and kind of help make some tutorials on a few things here because I've noticed on YouTube that there aren't really good, thorough videos and educational videos when it comes to doing some of the things I'm going to do here today. For the most part, the oil change is basic and simple. I'm pretty sure everyone does a decent job at that. My only issue is that this drain bowl on the bottom was so tight, it took a power drill to get that off. I don't know who put it on that tight, but we were all right. My neighbor came through, he helped me out, we got it off. We let it drain all the way until it drips. Once we are done with the oil draining out, we go to the opposite side of the bike, pull off that oil filter joint. Make sure you don't mess off these bolts. It's pretty simple. Two of them are very long, one's pretty short. After I got done with oil, I had to do the air filter as well. So we're gonna remove this seat real quick, both sides obviously. Yank out that filter. Look at that filter. Oh my goodness, that filter is so ugly. Eesh. That's sand riding and dirt riding and mud riding without cleaning it. Please don't be as stupid as I was on that one. Huge difference. Huge difference. I got a filter that was already lubed up. Make sure you get them filters lubed. It helps them last a lot longer. It's incredible that my bike lasts as long as it did with that old filter. Little struggle. Right here, man. Also, be advised, that little spring in my hand, make sure that spring is on point. Make sure your rubber seals are on point. That spring is very important. Do not lose that little spring. And when we went back up under the bike to put the bolt back on, we made sure we put it on nice and tight. For the people who are torque wrench police, no, I didn't torque anything down to spec. I actually never torque anything down to spec, really. And everything seems to be luckily working in my favor. Fill this joint up with the oil that it needed so you can get right. Try to jump up and turn it on and it still didn't turn on. Boy, I was so mad. This bike ain't turned on in like 3-4 months. But I had a cracked radiator and I destroyed the radiator fan. So I had to remove all of this good stuff so we can get active. It was a little tricky taking off this radiator, especially as a first timer taking off the radiator, and there was no real good videos on YouTube of showing you how to take off the radiator, so I'm not going to do that either. I'm just going to let you know that it's not that difficult. It's very, very self-explanatory. If you just go under your bike and look at everything, you will realize what needs to be. Oh, he got himself a little cut, don't worry about it. But it's very self-explanatory. You should be able to get up under there and knock it out real simple and easy. There are some wires or hoses that are attached. Make sure you remove those the right way. Not just the radiator hoses, but there's other random hoses attached to the radiator, or wires, should I say, attached to the radiator on the inside. All those inside clips, that's the broken joint right there. But I want to make sure you guys notice that as well when you are getting in there. This was another difficult process because I needed to remove the fan off the old radiator just so I could have the screws and the place to house it onto the other radiator. I forget what those little things are called, but it's something you can screw into. They're actually stuck on the old radiator. It took a little minute for me to figure that out, but we figured it out. I also needed all the screws that went in to house the fan itself. When you buy a new fan from Honda, they don't give you all the bolts and screws that you need, which is kind of stupid. They're just going to assume you still have the ones from your old fan. This was also another funny part. There's like a tiny little screw on the actual assembly for the fan, and it took me a minute to kind of figure out where that was and how that was. Why? Because there's no videos on telling you how to take it off, and that there's going to be a little weird bolt right there. It is very tiny. It's not too hard. It's way better if you have the size that fits. It's like a 2mm size, super tiny. If you have that size, you're in the door. If you don't have that size, it is going to be a nice little difficult situation. These are those little clips that I pulled off from the other radiator and put it back on this radiator so I can screw on the whole housing of the fan. to the new rating. And there we go. Like magic, someone would have charged me $1,000 to do all this job, and I'm lucky that I was able to just have confidence, have a joint, go out there and figure it out by myself. This was like a 4-hour job, to be honest. I kept getting pulled away from my bike. I had things going on with my personal life. So it took forever, and the sun just sadly started escaping me when I was getting ready to get into the meat and potatoes of everything, because I bought some protecting guards for my radiator. It's from Works Connections. Again, shitty ass instructions that they sent out, and nobody had information. But I put my helmet light on and I tried to do my best before it got too dark, and I gave up.